Good afternoon, welcome. How is everyone? Come on, how is everyone? All right. So today's always a special day for me as the head of HR because today we honor our amazing employees who every day and in every way make William & Mary a great place to work. It's my privilege to always be here today to thank each of you for your service, your dedication, and your commitment to William & Mary. Each year at this ceremony, I always look out and I'm really struck by the years of service of so many of our friends and colleagues. Collectively, we're recognizing today 2,925 years of service. Sounds a bit like it's like 1693 on steroids. When we look back over our careers, it's our service that truly matters. It is what we do each day that makes William & Mary a better place to work. From our grounds to the residence halls to our administrative offices, you help to transform this university. While I wish that I could stand here and give remarks that will be profound or inspiring, I know that 5 years from now, heck, 5 hours from now, you won't remember anything that I said. But what I hope that when you look back someday over your career at William & Mary, that what you will remember is how much you were appreciated. So my message is not profound and it's not inspiring. It's simply thank you. Thank you for your service. We are truly grateful for what you do every day for our students, our faculty, our campus, and our local communities. Each and every one of you are so very important to William & Mary, and you are so much appreciated. So let's begin. It's time to recognize our employees who have achieved significant service milestones. We're going to begin by recognizing those who are celebrating 5 through 25 years of service. When you hear your service year, please stand and be recognized. We have certificates and gifts for you. We have certificates and gifts that can be picked up upstairs in the Tidewater room. When you cross the stage later, for those, you'll be recognized and have your picture taken. So first, for those celebrating your 5th anniversary, I would ask that all of you celebrating 5 years, please rise. You can sit. We thank you for your years of service. All right, those celebrating 10 years of service, will you please stand and be recognized? And we thank each of you for your years of service. It makes it get louder each time. So now those celebrating 15 years of service, will you please rise and be recognized? And we thank you for your service. 20 years, if you're celebrating your 20th anniversary, please rise. And we thank you. Hello. For those celebrating your 25th anniversary, please stand. For everyone celebrating 5 to 25 years of service, we're so very grateful for all that you do for William & Mary, and we appreciate your dedication and service. And at the conclusion of the ceremony, I remind you to please go upstairs to the Tidewater room to pick up your gift and your certificate. Okay, so we will now recognize our friends and colleagues who are recognizing 30 years of service. So at this time, I'll ask each of our 30-year award recipients to please approach the stage. When I call your name, I'll ask you to come forward. You'll receive your certificate, and I'll shake your hand. And then we'll pause for a photograph with the president, the provost, and Sam Jones. And please pick up your gift as you exit the stage. So for those who are celebrating your 30, please come forward. First, Peel Hawthorne. We're doing something new this year. We're going to read a few fun facts about some of our award recipients. So Peel has her private pilot's license, and her first real job was playing in a bluegrass band at King's Dominion. Corey Springer. In Corey's spare time, she makes and reupholsters furniture. Shelia Harris. So in Shelia's spare time, she enjoys riding bikes at Busch Gardens and taking cruises. David Shantz. The fun fact about David is his hobbies include motorcycling and amateur radio. Cindy Lucas. So when Cindy joined the Muscarelli staff in 1987, the museum's current director, Aaron DeGroff, was a student volunteer. So be kind to everyone because you never know who might become your boss. So 30 years is quite an amazing feat, so we congratulate each of them. Okay, so we will now ask those who are celebrating 35 years of service to also approach the stage, and please come forward, and we'll do the same thing as we did for those who are celebrating 30. So will those who are celebrating 35 years please come forward? I'll do Bernard first. Bernard Bowman. So my fun fact about Bernard is very personal. We have a little bit of a student theme here. 32 years ago, Bernard helped me execute my marriage proposal to my wonderful wife. I was a student volunteer who gave tours, and ahead of time, I gave Bernard my engagement ring and a bouquet of flowers that we could have in the Wren building when I brought Mira Beth on a special tour of the Wren building to propose. Faye Shealy. All right, so Faye's fun fact is she's a farm girl, and her 4-H projects included grooming and showing beef cattle. And last is Rosemary Thomas. So Rosemary is a personal friend of NFL great Lawrence Taylor. William & Mary is so grateful to each of them for their steadfast commitment with 35 years of service. So we now turn to 6 employees who have a combined total of 255 years of service to William & Mary. Jean Beal, Delphine Bartlett, Sharon Scott, Patricia Mason, Lee Conder, and James Barber. Truly amazing. I'll first ask Samantha Hughey to come forward and to recognize Jean Beal.
Good afternoon. Congratulations to all of you. I know Bobby Dwyer would love to be standing up here, but I know Bobby's here, but we were thinking he wasn't going to be able to attend, but I know he's glad he could be here. Every once in a while, Bobby will ask Jean how much longer she plans to be here, because he wants to be out the door before she goes. He has told me that. This is so true, and I've learned this in my first year here. Jean is absolutely indispensable to the Tribe Club. Her institutional knowledge from 40 years of service is hard to quantify, but suffice it to say, many of our longtime donors interact with Jean more than any other of our club officers, and to them, she is the face of the Tribe Club. Jean can be counted on to be at her desk about anything to do with gifts, tickets, and anything in between. Over the past 40 years, millions of dollars of donations have been handled by Jean with honesty, integrity, and accountability. It's no coincidence that her office is next to Bobby's, and the door between them is usually open. The amount of knowledge that flows between them on a daily basis keeps the Tribe Club, and I would like to say the athletic department, running. Jean, on behalf of Bobby, myself, our entire athletics department, our student athletes, and the donors and fans that you have served for 40 years, we thank you for your 40 years of service, and don't even think about retiring.
Jean, thank you again for your service and for your dedication. And now I ask Cindy Glavis to come forward to recognize 3 members of the dining services team, Delphine Bartlett, Sharon Scott, and Patricia Mason, who are each celebrating their 40th year of service. We will first begin with Delphine.
Well, oh, wait, Shelby, right here for a second, yeah. It takes a special person to attain 40 years of service, and I'm honored to recognize 3 of the dining services team today who have achieved this milestone. Delphine Bartlett was asked to provide some information on the things that she has done at William & Mary. She shared a 2-page list in alphabetical order by year, a very impressive career. This captures Delphine and what she's brought to the dining program, versatility. Delphine has held many jobs. She started working in the dish room and has been a dining attendant, worked the pizza station, and has prepared food for countless students, faculty, and staff over the years. Delphine takes pride in her work and is always a source of knowledge for many of her coworkers. Delphine has 2 children, 2 grandchildren, 5 sisters, and 1 brother. When she isn't working, she loves planting flowers, cooking, and painting. Please join me in congratulating Delphine Bartlett for 40 years of dedicated service to William & Mary Dining. Sharon Scott, if you'd join me, please. Come on up and join. Sharon Scott started her career at William & Mary in 1976 and has held a variety of positions from the bake shop to the line lead. If you ask Sharon what she loves about her job, she will give you 2 answers. Number 1, she loves talking with the students as much as she can, each and every chance that she gets. A close second is her love for the William & Mary football team. Sharon takes pride in wishing the athletes well before every home game during their pregame meals. Outside of work, Sharon has many passions. She loves to travel, cook, and spend time with her 2 children, 6 grandchildren, and many other members of her family and friends. She also volunteers with the local Meals on Wheels program. Please join me in congratulating Sharon Scott for 40 years of dedicated service to William & Mary Dining. And I don't think that Patricia Mason was able to join us today, but I did want to share that she started working at the college at the age of 15 with her mom, Roxy Green. And if you ask Patricia what has inspired her to put so much of her heart and soul into what originally was a part-time job on the weekends, she'll say the people. She loves the students and is always a smiling face and someone they can talk to every day. Patricia has been married for 20 years, has a son, 2 daughters, and 2 granddaughters. When she's not at William & Mary, she enjoys arts and crafts, as well as traveling and spending time with family. Please join me in congratulating Patricia Ann Mason for 40 years.
Trying to steal the script on me. Again, thank you, Delphine, Sharon, and then Patricia for their steadfast service and commitment to William and Mary. Okay, so now I ask John Drummond to come forward to recognize Lee Condor.
Thank you, John. So, Robert Lee Condor, Lee, started work at William and Mary before the internet was a gleam in anyone's eye. He has seen data processing evolve from punched cards to solid state, from reel tapes to cloud storage. Lee began working on campus in November of 1977 during the Thomas Graves administration, working the night shift in the computer center in Jones Hall for 25 years. He trained countless students on the IBM mainframe. His considerable institutional knowledge is now put to use answering the college's main line at 221-4000, answering every conceivable question. Where is my application? Where should we eat? Where should we stay? How can I rent a car or a house? What is a good gift for a student? Wawa and Cheese Shop gift cards, of course. Who can I talk to at the college about my issue? There are many issues. A recent example is the fellow who called from Tangier Island, wondering if anybody at William and Mary was interested in what he described as the Loch Ness Monster in his attic. That caller was referred to Joe Jones in anthropology. Lee's calm demeanor, friendly manner, and encyclopedic institutional knowledge hold him in good stead as a first point of contact between William and Mary and the notions and curiosity of the world's teeming masses. We are so grateful for his 4 decades of service and his many contributions to our team, to information technology, and to the college. Thank you, Lee.
Thank you, John. And again, we thank Lee for his service in answering our questions. So I now ask Chief Deb Cheesebro to come forward to recognize James Barber, who is celebrating an amazing 55 years of service to William and Mary.
No, you're not done. I almost had to order him out of the chair and up onto the stage. Well, not many chiefs have the distinct honor that I have today. And it's not by accident that I'm dressed up like this. It's so meaningful in the police service to have somebody who has spent 55 years of their life in dedicating themselves to helping other people, helping people in distress, and particularly in Jim's case, really keeping track of our students and keeping our students safe. So let me tell you a little bit about Jim's career. He started as a full-time security officer at William & Mary in 1973. All of you try and think about where you were in 1973 to put it in perspective. I did. It was a little scary. When William & Mary transitioned from having a security function to a full-service police agency, Jim attended the police academy in March of 1978 to become a certified police officer. He continued serving the community full-time until the year 2000, and then Sergeant Barber retired from William & Mary. Some of you may not know that during that period, Jim also worked a second job as a cook at Colonial Williamsburg for 41 years. So if you are wondering, work ethic is not a problem for Jim. Being a true member of the tribe, though, Jim didn't stay retired very long. 2 weeks after this supposed retirement, he returned to the 2 weeks. Yeah, it was like, let's take a 2-week vacation. He could have just asked. We would have given it to him. So he returned to William & Mary to work as a part-time officer, and in that capacity, he works special events and covers patrol shifts for a variety of reasons. Through 55 years and still today, whenever the department and the community needs him, he is there for us. Officer Barber has received numerous commendations for excellent work, along with an overwhelming number of thank you notes from the community members he has helped along the way. When I came here as a new chief, I quickly learned how important Officer Barber was and still is to our department. So in spite of my deep allegiance to the Red Sox, I find myself also I didn't say no to the Red Sox and just take on the Chicago Cubs. I added the Cubs to the Red Sox only because that team is so close to Jim's heart. To put Officer Barber's tenure in perspective, I want to share something that happened in July of 2017. A former student called the department seeking information about an arrest that occurred when he was here in April of 1978. He needed that information for a security clearance for a position, and that happens quite a bit, that we have to research records for folks. He had exhausted other means of finding out the information, including a check of his criminal history and a check of court records, and finally he called and talked with Major Butler, and Major Butler, lo and behold, was actually able to find the original arrest packet from 1978, including the disposition that the student needed, and it was all in our archives. The arresting officer was Jim Barber. So Major Butler called the student back and explained that we actually found it and that he had spoken to the arresting officer, who is still employed here. The former student was having none of it and said, no, this happened 40 years ago. And we're saying, we understand that. You don't know Jim Barber. So that was, we had a great time with that. And, it's something that you cherish when something like that occurs. And you look back and say, man, he's been here that long serving these students. So I was asked about, how I would describe Officer Barber. If we had to use just a few terms, we would use integrity. What a role model for integrity for all of the newer officers coming in through the years. Credibility. Nobody ever questions when Jim Barber says something. We know that it's solid. And dedication. And that goes, I guess, without having to explain in more detail. On behalf of the William & Mary Police Department, on the occasion of your 55th year at William & Mary, I want to personally congratulate you on your years of service to this community. I personally hope to be here again in 5 years, celebrating his 60 years of service. I promised to write a new speech, but I have a prop I want to use for my very closing here. In the police service, there's certain things you have to have your hat on for. So I had to bring my hat, and there goes the hairstyle I got done yesterday. But Jim, I want you to know two things. First, I'm immensely proud to be your chief. And second, I salute you, sir.
Jim, thank you again. So I'm sometimes asked, why is William & Mary special? And the answer is always easy. William & Mary is special because all of you are special, you're caring, and you're committed to what you do. You are what makes William & Mary a great place to work. So before we conclude, I want to just say one more thank you to everybody for your years of service and your commitment. So one last round of applause. And as we end today, I'd like to introduce President Taylor Reevely. As you all know, this is President Reevely's final service award ceremony to be with us. Taylor, we are truly grateful for all that you've done for William & Mary, and in particular for your unwavering support of us as staff at William & Mary. He has a few special words he'd like to share with us, and then when he's done, I invite everybody upstairs for a reception with refreshments in the Chesapeake room. So thank you again. Taylor?
John, thank you. This is always a very, very special occasion for me. And this afternoon's service recognition ceremony is unusually special because it's my 13th. I got started early when you become president at 9:30 a.m., February the 12th, 2008. You pick up everything that happens between February and the end of the fiscal year before you go into your full 10 years. You know, William & Mary is like other colleges and universities in many respects, though we're so different and better in so many other respects. But one way in which we are like other schools is most of the attention, most of the glory, most of the flapdoodle goes to the faculty and students. As the faculty remind us always, they are the heart of the enterprise. And it is true, you can't be a school without faculty. And without students, there'd be no point in having a faculty. So the faculty and students have got a legitimate claim on all the attention they get, and they do a very good job of calling attention to themselves. And of course, they are essential and spectacular. But this afternoon, the spotlight shines elsewhere. This afternoon, it shines on staff, on William & Mary's operational and classified people, and on our professional people. And this is good, because let's be absolutely clear about one thing. William & Mary staff sees to the smooth functioning of the campus's infrastructure. It seamlessly handles the complex logistics of campus life. It staffs the countless activities on campus and off that are essential to our success. And without all this, without a really first-rate, hardworking staff, William & Mary would grind to a quick stop, because the staff does things the faculty and the students simply do not do, things that are essential. And through good times and bad, through ice storms and hurricanes, William & Mary staff carries on, getting the job done, no matter what depredations the weather gods may be visiting upon us, delivering the goods, enabling the faculty and the students to keep doing what they do so well and getting their work done. I am very, very aware of this, and I am very, very grateful to all of you and to each of you, what you have done and do. It's been my really great privilege and my honor to work alongside you for 20 years, 10 at the law school, 10 as president. Well, actually, 10 years, 4 months, and it will be a few days. It has been my great privilege and my real honor to be your colleague. So I'm going to fade away. I was going to say, because, I've worked so long, it's time for me to sit under a tree and smell the flowers, and then you think about Jim. I say, why am I slacking off after only 50 years of hard labor? But my official position is 50 years, at least for me, is enough. Good to be with you all.